ignored his calls on girls' trips, came home to find my closet empty. Hello, guys. My name is Ella, and I'm 26 years old. And in short, my life is officially ruined. I'm jobless, homeless, and no one wants to have anything to do with me. And on top of that, I still can't get over the guilt of hurting the one person that cared the most for me in this world, and wrecking my relationship of over a decade. Cole and I dated for years. We slowly moved for high school crushes to college sweethearts, and we were finally going to tie the knot in a couple months. We've also lived together for as long as I can remember. I lost my parents at a very delicate point in my life, and Cole was there for me through it all. I eventually moved in, and we've just been it ever since. All our friends admired us, even envied what we had. Sometimes they teased us so much about it, but we didn't care. We were just so madly in love with each other then that we didn't care about the world and everyone else. So everything was pretty stable until he proposed. The proposal itself was lovely. Dinner on the rooftop, candlelights, romantic music, gorgeous ring, and great sex afterwards. When I told my friends, they were super excited that after so long, Cole and I were finally getting married. In fact, they were so excited, they asked Cole for permission to take me on some kind of girls' trip. They told me at first, but I was hesitant. Then they said I was getting married soon, and marriage was like eye trap. I may never get a chance to do something like that again. FYI, none of my friends were married. To the contrary, they are all single till this moment, but they made it seem as though marriage was a trap. So Cole agreed, and we got ready to leave. We weren't going very far, just a 2-hour drive from home, and it was only going to last about a few days. I knew Cole would miss me, and I'd miss him too, because we'd never really been apart since we started dating. He even cried when I was leaving with the girls, and he asked to drive me, but the girls teased and called him a baby and overprotective. The first day after we arrived was pretty decent. We went to the spa, got our nails done, and stuff like that. Of course, Cole called every minute he could just to know I was doing all right, and also to tell me how much he missed me and couldn't wait for me to get back. I missed him too, and we would stay on the phone for hours, but the girls would always complain that we were being too clingy and we had the rest of our lives to ourselves. And Amanda particularly never failed to mention that I was rubbing their singleness in their faces. The second day we went to a bar, but I didn't know what I was supposed to do in the bar. I usually went to bars with Cole, and the girls had men all over them, but I was just there. I couldn't mingle, didn't want to mingle, and on top of that, I would have called. But Amanda took my phone away. She said we were doing too much, and then I should hang out with other guys. So I just sat there because I didn't want to. But while I was there, she came with this guy. She introduced us, then left him there with me and told me to have fun. Then she went back to her thing. I felt very uncomfortable because I hadn't really ever been in a space with other guys since Cole and I started dating. He started asking me questions. He wanted to know more about me, what I did for work and stuff. And the thing is, I didn't really do anything for work. I just helped call at the cafe he ran back home. But yeah, we kind of clicked. Even though I feel a bit embarrassed admitting that now too, because he practically ruined me and my relationship, which is all I've ever known. But I can't blame him completely. It's not like he forced me. Anyway, when we were leaving, he asked for my number. I was hesitant at first, but then Amanda just took the phone and entered my number. I didn't yell at her. I just chuckled and apologized to him on her behalf. When I got back to the hotel, I saw over 20 missed calls from Cole. My mind completely went blank. I had almost forgotten about him. I called back and told him I was sorry and that Amanda was with my phone. He asked why, but just as I was about to tell him all about the new guy and the number thing, Amanda signaled me to keep quiet. I wasn't sure why she did that. It wasn't a big deal. Cole and I always told each other everything. But I listened to her and didn't tell him just yet. I planned on telling him eventually, but never got the chance, and now he won't even speak to me. I really wish I hadn't listened to Amanda that night, or ever. Maybe things would have worked out then. But I did listen to her, and now I have to face my reality. So that night, I just came up with a lie as to why Amanda was with my phone. We said goodnight to each other, and I went to sleep thinking whether what I did was right or wrong. It would be the first thing I had hid from him in years. To make matters worse, he called me the next morning to say his childhood friend was visiting town and asked if he'd want to hang out. He was calling to ask permission from me. I never liked that girl. I think her name was Miranda or something like that. It was so frustrating because when Cole and I started dating, she was all he ever talked about. He'd tell me of the times they'd spent together and all the stuff they did. Not that they did anything bad, but I just couldn't imagine someone that is not me being the cause of Cole's happiness. Plus, as if that wasn't enough, Cole wasn't a native speaker. I mean, his dad was American, but his mother was Spanish, and he didn't spend his childhood in the U.S. Both parents gave him names, but Cole is the one I could pronounce. The other one is way too long for me. But whenever Miranda came around, she would call him by that Spanish name, and he always seemed so happy and more eager to answer when she did that. I didn't like it. Plus, they spoke Spanish, laughed in Spanish, and even ate in Spanish. I mean, however that is done. Anyway, the bottom line is, I didn't like her. She obviously was madly in love with Cole, too. Cole couldn't see that, but I could, even though she never confessed. Another thing is she's pretty, with great dark hair and wide lips that I didn't have. Maybe I was just jealous of her. I don't know. I wanted to say no. I really wanted to tell Cole that he wasn't allowed to go see that Spanish hot-ass chick, but I couldn't. I didn't want to seem selfish. Because I was away having fun with a bunch of friends, while he was home, and at the cafe, lonely. So I agreed. And he said he loved me and would call me when he was back. Then he hung up. I felt so bitter. Thankfully, and I mean that sarcastically, Amanda was there. I wore a frown on my face, and then she asked me what had been worrying me. I told her the whole Miranda thing, and I know I shouldn't have. I could have just sorted it all out with Cole, told him how I felt, especially concerning his friend. I'm sure he would have understood and kept his distance from her. Instead, I engaged with Amanda. She told me Cole and I weren't even married yet, and so I should stop getting all worked up just because he wanted to hang out with someone else. Then she gave me a side look and said that if I was so bothered, I could do what he was doing, just hang with another guy. And as if he was waiting in the queue, Matt called. I wasn't sure who it was at first until he introduced himself. I was already frustrated about the whole Cole and Miranda thing, so the last thing I wanted to do was talk to another man. But Amanda stopped me from hanging up. Matt said he wanted to hang out with me that day. Amanda encouraged me to go if I really wanted to get my mind off Cole. Well, I didn't exactly want to get my mind off him, just wanted to stop imagining what he could possibly be doing with Miranda at the moment. But I told Matt that if I would come, if I must come, then I must come with Amanda or all of my friends. He said he had no problem with that. My friends got so excited that a man was going to sponsor their outing that day. And did I mention that the night before, when we were going out to the bar, they insisted I took off my engagement ring? Well, they did. And in fact, my entire stay there, I never put it on even once. We all got ready, and Matt came and picked us up in his fancy car. When we got in, he asked where we wanted to go. I turned to my girls, and then they called out a long list of places, from the spa to the mall to a restaurant and finally a club. I tried to signal them that they were asking too much, especially from someone we met only less than 24 hours ago. But they told me to chill and enjoy life. Matt said it was okay and that it was no big deal. The girls started making some funny sounds, and I laughed because I knew they did that, because they just confirmed the suspicion that he was loaded. But I myself was surprised. And after we went to all those places and settled in the club, I couldn't help but imagine how much he had spent that day. And trust Amanda and the girls, they sucked him dry. At the mall, they took both the things they did and did not need, like very unnecessary stuff. Amanda picked a designer dog collar for a dog she didn't even have. When I asked her, she said she was saving it for her future Pomeranian, and she didn't even stop there. She made Matt pay for her full skincare line, and you don't want to know how much that cost. But he wasn't even complaining. I, on the other hand, couldn't get myself to pick something. I felt we were draining him too much. He tried to persuade me, but I told him I was fine. And that's when he got me this really beautiful necklace that I never imagined I could own. Must be worth a fortune. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for me, that's all I have left. And I'm thinking of selling it out to get some money and start somewhere. Anyway, while we were at the club, Amanda got herself some hot six-packed guy. And well, all the other girls got themselves company too. I kept checking my phone to see if Cole would call, but he didn't. Matt noticed and asked if I was expecting someone. I chuckled and looked at my finger. It looked so empty without my engagement ring on it. But just as I was about to tell him that I was sorry and engaged, Amanda stepped in. Appeared from nowhere, actually. She pinched me on the shoulders and told Matt that it was just a friend we were all waiting for, but that she wasn't coming anymore, so I should just focus and have a great night. But she didn't stop there. She took me to the side and talked me out of the whole Cole thing. She said Cole was having fun with Miranda for all we knew, so I should also try to have a little fun, flirt a bit at the very least. She also took my phone away. She said, and I quote, "I can't have you staring at it too much at this while the man of my dreams tries to get me into a conversation." And then she pushed me back to the table. I was really hoping Cole would call and she'd bring the phone back, but she got away. I mean, Amanda always does. So there I was, left with drinks and Matt, and, just the regular tension that arises when a man and a very lonely woman are in their same space. I drank to stupor and dragged Matt to the dancing floor. I danced like I never had, and my friends kept cheering me on. No one cared to call me back to order or tell me that I was doing too much, so I just got wilder and wilder. The body contact was becoming too much, even I knew it, and our faces were just about a kiss away from each other. But each time my conscience tried to prick me, I reminded myself that Cole was probably doing the same thing, if not worse, with Miranda. Maybe it was that, combined with the influence of alcohol, that made me grab Matt in an instant kiss, or maybe it was something I'd always wanted to do deep inside. The thing is, I can blame Amanda and the rest of my friends all I want for what happened to me and to my relationship, but the truth is, it's mostly my fault. They may have helped harness it, but it was already in me. I craved something different. Never just got the exposure or perfect opportunity. I kind of came back to my senses after the kiss, and I staggered to a nearby cushion, with Matt's help, of course. I started taking some water instead, and finally started getting sober when Amanda came to tell me that she was leaving with the guy she had been flirting with that night, said she was going to his house or something. I remember thinking it was stupid of her to want to follow a guy she'd just met at some random bar to his house for God knows what. I tried to advise her not to go. Ridiculous of me, I know, especially considering that I ended up doing the exact same thing that night. Anyway, she didn't listen to me. Instead, she whispered in my ear that I should have fun, and that the Cole problem would still be there after I was done with my fun. And that I found that I had to do, I should just remember or imagine what Cole and Miranda could possibly be doing at that time. She gave me back my phone, but asked me not to dare turn it on. That was the last time I ever saw Amanda, and being the fool I was, I actually listened to her and didn't turn the phone on. Just sat and listened to Matt talk all about his business and his boring life. Then came the fun part, so all the while, I kept resenting Cole and Miranda, who I imagined was really enjoying Cole's company and possibly his body wherever they were. And a part of me told me to pick up my phone and call him, but a bigger part wanted to prove that I was a big girl. I started engaging with Matt, and things got interesting. I drank more alcohol and got drunk again. I don't know why I turned on my phone in the midst of all that, but I did, hoping that Cole's call would somehow come in immediately, but it didn't. I got frustrated again and tossed it to the side. And by the time the night was coming to an end, I totally forgot all about Cole. I was living in my own world. The chat with Matt was getting interesting and romantic. So while my phone kept buzzing, it was the least of my problems. Things got heated, and Matt and I started making out, and it was quite raw. We figured the club was too crowded, so we went to his car, and we had sex there. But I think I must have slept off in the middle of it. Because I have no memory of leaving the car, but I woke up in a bedroom that wasn't mine. In fact, it was way fancier than mine. And then there was hangover soup. But I didn't need that to realize that I had made a big mistake the night prior. The first person that came to my mind was Cole. I picked up my phone and saw a good bunch of missed calls from him. I tried calling back, but it didn't go through. I went to the house where we'd stayed for the last couple of days, but Amanda wasn't there. And neither were the two others who were supposed to be my friends. Just a note that said, "Go fuck yourself, bitch." I didn't want to believe they'd left that note for me, and besides, all I could think about then was getting home to Cole. Oh, and all the while, I left Matt confused in his house. I got home, but Cole wasn't there, and he wasn't the only thing missing. None of my things were there. My closet was empty, my teapot gone, my shoe rack empty. It was like someone had wiped out every memory of me in the house. I tried calling Cole again, but he didn't pick up. I went to the cafe to find him, and there he was. He was serving a group of customers when he saw me, and he pretended not to have noticed me. It wasn't a very big place, and all the customers around knew us. They knew we used to be a strong couple, so I just kept getting these uneasy stares. I had to go out front and wait for Cole there. It wasn't going to be long before they closed anyway. I sat there, in the cold, rehearsing what I was going to say when he got out. And when he finally did, I got up and started to explain things I didn't even know. He didn't shut me up. He just kept looking up and down the road. I finished talking, and he started to say something. So I didn't mention this earlier, but Cole used to have this thing where his heart starts racing, and he finds it hard to breathe. The first time it happened, it was because of me. I may or may not have said something that made him feel more emotionally damaged than he already was. After that time, it came more often. Sometimes even if we didn't talk long enough for a day, he'd start malfunctioning like that. Apparently, after he called like a dozen times and Amanda didn't pick up, and later switched the phone off, he kind of had the whole heart-racing attack thing. He'd called because talking to me usually made him feel better, not to mention that my supposed friend Amanda had sent him pictures of Matt trying that new necklace on me and me kissing him in the public, as well as just flirting generally. I was speechless, so speechless. Like, why would Amanda do such a thing? And guess who was there to comfort him through it all? He also said that in my story, I didn't include the part where I followed Matt to his house. That explained a lot. Cole obviously got upset and locked my stuff out of the house somewhere. I apologized continuously. I didn't know what to do or say to justify what I did. I told him I was sorry and hoped that he'd forgive me. To be honest, I was so confident that he'd come back to me sooner or later, because he always did, but not this time. He told me to return his engagement ring since I was too ashamed to put it on. I dared to ask him where he took my things, and that's when he told me that he'd sent all my stuff to the lost and found. As if all that drama wasn't enough, Miranda pulled up with a really nice car, and it turned out Cole had been waiting for her all the while. He said she'd helped him when he couldn't breathe properly, and I was grateful for that. But I didn't like it that she was doing my duty, so I made it a bit of an issue. That was it, though. I never saw Cole again. He'd left me forever and cut off from me in every way. It's been a couple weeks now, and you could say I'm living. Amanda and the girls had officially betrayed me. They even told Matt everything, painted me all back like I was the villain. Now none of them would speak to me. But his necklace did me a favor, though. I sold it and bought a small studio apartment where I live now. So yeah, life's not going really great, but I'm at least. And also, I think the two Spanish lovebirds started seeing each other, and that's that. I am sorry I was too stupid to see that my friends didn't want my happiness after all. They were probably all just jealous, because I had a genuine love and they didn't. I was proposed to, and they weren't. But all that's in the past now, and you know what they say, once bitten, twice shy. So yeah, wish me luck, guys, and thanks for your time.